All right, this is the crossover, brought to you by California Academy of Sciences. Every visit supports the Academy's mission to regenerate the natural world. Learn more and reserve your tickets at calacademy.org. In for Willard, John Dickinson, along with Dan Dibley. What's up, guys?
You sound a little downtrodden. What's going on?
I just get a little fatigued.
Yeah.
He's been on fire today, your boy.
No, I heard it.
What?
I heard it.
I read your tweet. Thanks for being a part of the show. I read it to him.
I said it on the text line.
Oh,
but
wow.
I sent you one. I sent one to the text line as well.
JD, we were talking about what constitutes a hot take. And it's not right or wrong, just like what's a hot take. And then Steiny gave some of his. I ran some of mine off, the callers. And then I get a text from Dibs saying Steiny's never had a hot take. Cha-ching. And
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean, maybe.
To me, a hot take is
give me one.
Larry Krueger saying the Warriors will trade Klay Thompson after July 1st.
So that's a hot take.
Okay.
See, that to me is a hot take.
You can say it's a hot take, but if he believes it, like if he thinks that's really possible, which I think he thinks it does, then is it really a hot take? Like to me, a hot take implies
it's not
that
true?
you know something's kind of BS, but you say it anyway.
Or maybe if he said they should trade Klay Thompson, would be a hotter take.
That would be
Or
it.
they should trade Steph Curry.
Right,
Like, you know what?
right.
Like,
That's
forget about
garbage.
it. This
no
is a
take.
facade.
That's a dumb take. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what do you guys got today? Dynasty's over or Warriors are cooked? We got
It's
today,
been
Steiny.
over. Oh, it's been over. It's been over for a year, Goo.
No, I'll tell you what I like, JD.
Steiny.
I like the Sarge move if Monty Poole is correct, and that's who they get. And Torrey Craig, I would like him on the Warriors, so that's what I like. But I told you,
You know what my first thought is on both those guys?
give it to me.
Man, Kuminga's not going to play as much as people think.
Maybe they're going to move him.
Maybe they are going to move
That's
him.
a hot
That's
take.
a hot take. Yeah, and I think who
See, I don't
has
think it's a hot
That's
take
not
to
a hot
say
take.
What's
Kuminga-
Kuminga?
It's a hot take if you say they should move him.
Oh. Well,
Yeah.
No.
No,
and,
but the
and that's
take
why I
is,
came
not a
down
hot
your
take.
road a little bit.
that would be a big deal if they moved him. Not
I'd have to say-
he's an all-star,
But if
that's a
Sarge is
hot
a stretch
take.
4, and
Right.
Torrey
Yeah,
Craig's
no
a 3-4,
doubt.
well, whose minutes is he getting?
There's no man.
Yeah.
Well, he's getting Draymond's because he's going to be in Sacramento.
Speaking of which, what'd you think about last night or yesterday?
Dibs right on the
match.
money. Hey, Dibs,
The match was a
take
joke.
a victory lap.
I was
match was-
disappointed. What part?
Dude, the match was exactly what I told you the match would be. Klay Thompson, he stinks.
He don't stink.
As a golfer,
He stinks.
he's terrible, Goo.
He's not very
He
good.
hits the ball way further than me, but I'm a better golfer than Klay Thompson.
Okay.
And I told you that 2 weeks ago. Klay Thompson is a great athlete. He shoots the jumper better than me. He can defend 2s and 3s better than me.
But you weren't watching for the golf. I thought it was like Larry. It was
I
the
was
entertainment.
watching for the golf. I had it on mute. I mean, I was
Well,
doing a
shame
show
on
with
you.
JD.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the entertainment of like pro athletes like bantering and Draymond doing like a chest
He was
bump.
celebrating this
that's
new deal.
That's really
Yeah.
cute and that's fun.
Right.
But I'm a golfer. So if I'm going to watch golf, I want to watch golfers who are good at golf.
What about
And that's
Curry
just
and the
me.
putting? I had Curry up there with Romo.
He made one putt. Curry stunk.
Shocked me.
Curry did
I
nothing.
said, JD is
Tell you
shocked
something.
me.
His
Dude, they were 4 down after
handicap
6.
is.
I love the
What'd you say Curry's handicap was?
He's a +1,
+1. No,
which
it's
means
not.
he should shoot a 71.
No chance.
Well, honestly,
But that's the thing
and
about
it's-
golf, right?
Ooh.
It makes normal people terrible.
Yeah?
Well,
like,
and
He's
the
not
thing-
terrible, but a 1.
but he's
plus
also not
1.
great. Like he's like Steph Curry's pretty good.
Here's
at golf,
great.
right?
Here's
For
the-
a
I had him
normal
up there
guy,
with
he's
Romo.
pretty good.
But
Well,
here's
guess what? He can still look terrible
Great.
when he's playing.
If Steph
Like
Curry
everybody.
played with me and Steiny every time,
he'd be the best golfer by far.
but he'd be a 2. You know why? Because we actually make you put the ball in the hole. So when you're Klay Thompson and you're an 11, Klay's an 11 because, oh, go ahead, Klay, that's good. Or, you know what?
But Clay
Hit a
never
second
told you
ball.
he was the best,
Or-
though, Dibs. You got to give, you know what
No,
I mean?
but don't try and pretend that
Oh,
you're an
okay,
11.
okay, all right.
You know what? Steiny's a 15.
16.
I'm a 15 and change. He and I are about the same. And neither one of us is very good. But when we play golf, and if I shoot at 87, I hit the ball 87 times. I didn't pick up a 3-footer because, oh, that's good. If Klay's an 11, you show me you're an 11. You're a 17, bro.
wow.
And that was my point.
And you were
So,
right. I'll tell you
yeah,
what, though.
anyway.
Did you hear Kelsey? He said that when he found out he was doing this right after the season, he got to the course.
Of course.
He's going every day.
He said he'd been practicing, and it looked like it. He was good. See, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, again, you got to think that anybody that's played at the level that he's played and Mahomes and all these guys, I mean, you don't want to get embarrassed. That's the one thing you don't want to do.
Right. But you also saw with Clay, after his first tee shot, it was, I haven't seen nerves like that since his rookie year because.
And Dre didn't help Clay either.
I mean, whatever. Yeah. Dre's going to be Dre, so.
He was celebrating. And it was all for, I get it.
So let me ask you this, Goo. Yeah. Does the Draymond news come out at 3:01 or not until next Wednesday?
I'm going to say the 4th of July. I'm going to go Kevin Durant. I think it's going to be part of our deal that day.
On Tuesday.
That news will break Tuesday.
I don't think Draymond is the news dump kind of guy. He's going to wait for the big marquee day. I think it'll either be 3:01 today or it'll be Wednesday. That's my call.
I think that's a good call. I mean, it sounds like he's going to, at least he was intending on trying to take some meetings. Oh. I mean, Sacramento doesn't have any money anymore.
No, no.
At least for him. I mean, they have money, but not enough for him.
But they have enough for Kuzma, they think?
Not anymore.
I don't think so.
No, they're down to about 14 and a half or so after they with the
Van
Duarte.
Vliet got what, 37?
Wait, Van Vliet's
Houston
locked in? Oh, I didn't even know that.
I didn't see that
one
yet
I saw the reports earlier that he was going to.
Well,
two for 78
they were talking about it, though, yeah.
But if that happens, I mean, if that's where the price point is for a Fred Van Vliet, Kuzma's not going to be able to sign for 15.
Yeah, and the latest on Kuzma is he might go back to Washington, which I thought was bizarre.
That is weird.
Hey, Dibs, I'll never forget during the pandemic because I got it wrong. I thought it was Steiny I called, but it was you that was my ear.
I heard that
about
earlier.
The shot,
yeah.
And I'll never forget our conversation. So I value your opinion just like I do with JD, Steiny. Yeah. But I got to ask you this. What did you guys think about the layoffs? Because there are a lot of talented people that got laid off.
Right.
A lot of talented people like McAfee. No shade. I just don't understand the appeal. But what is Dan Dibley's computer and Dickinson when you hear that news? Like, damn, why is Van Gundy out? And I know Disney ain't making the money or whatever, but do you think social media has anything to do with just where we're at, this whole medium that we call?
I don't. What I think this all comes down to is the fact that so many people are cutting the cord. ESPN is losing tens of millions of subscribers each and every year, and ESPN is actually looking at going to more of a Peacock model, where if you want ESPN, you got to spend $10 or $11 a month and get it as an a la carte selection. So the whole idea of ESPN as a network, the whole network model is going away. So ESPN is looking at...
What made it go away? Real quick. What made it good? Everything else? Twitter?
Turn around and look at these whippersnappers. Okay. It's JT Lucan. Wow. It's Evan Giddings. It's Mark Grandy. These people, they probably, none of them have cable like we used to have cable.
Okay. All right.
You know, what it is now is you want to get your a la carte programming. Mark Grandy, I love him. He's a great technical director, great producer, really smart. He loves soccer. So he's going to get Peacock because he wants to watch Arsenal. So he'll spend $10.99 or whatever it is to get Peacock Premium. But you don't want to get the whole shebang. I have cable and I love Xfinity. Hi, I'm Dan Dibley and I have Xfinity. But of all the channels that I have, and I've got about 200 channels, I watch about 9 of them. And that's basically where we're going in terms of our entertainment. And ESPN, they're late to the table, but they now realize that many of these companies, they don't want ESPN anymore. So ESPN's going to the a la carte model, and so they can't spend all this money on all this talent. And by the way, the people that they're cutting, Susie Colbert, who I love.
Steve Young.
North of 50. Steve Young, north of 60. Look at all the people they're cutting. These are older people. So it makes business sense for them to do what they're doing. And ESPN's not what it used to be, guys.
Yeah, I like Van Gundy on the broadcast a lot.
Stan, absolutely.
Yeah. I like them both. You don't
Stan
like Jeff?
Greater than Jeff. I'm in the minority without a doubt.
So you don't like Jeff?
You're trying to make it like I can't like both?
No. It doesn't sound like you like Jeff, so please explain.
When it comes to Stan versus Jeff is too much shtick. He's anti-ref. It's he and Mark Jackson with their
I love it.
Their Lethal Weapon, like Mel Gibson, Danny Glover comedy.
Sign me up.
It's a miss for me. Jeff Van Gundy is a caricature of what he used to be. I'm out on Jeff Van Gundy. Stan, I like Stan. Stan's not the best, but Stan at least gives you some analysis. You know who I like? The 90-year-old Hubie Brown. Get me Hubie Brown for life.
He retired.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he retired.
This year I heard him on some games.
This year
he retired this year. Like one of the playoff games was his last. I want to. It was maybe the Hawks and Celtics or something. It was first or second round. Yeah, something like
interesting.
that.
For me, Jeff Van Gundy was too much like, the thing about salsa, green salsa versus red salsa.
It was entertaining, though,
Might have been Denver Phoenix in the second round. I remember there was one game where the game was getting out of hand and they were doing kind of the spiel, like, hey, this is going to be your last game, da-da-da-da-da.
The only thing I didn't like about Van Gundy is no coach ever did anything wrong. He is just such a cape for every coach. Yeah. Every coach got fired unjustly. Every ownership group fires coaches too quick. It's like, come on, Jeff. By the way, you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, an Odyssey station.
And what did he ever do in the association in terms of coaching? He picked up, he got Pat Riley's scraps in New York and did nothing more with them. And then he went to Houston.
Michael and the Bulls a run for their money a few years, but it was Mike.
Did.
I think I think he won just about every single year he coached.
And he took them to the finals, right? Against the
99, 50-game season, 99. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even when he went to Houston, they had a couple good seasons.
And then he got any subsequent job or no? No?
I remember, I want to say... Oh, you mean after that? No. Yeah. I want to say that when
that's part of the reason why. I mean, he doesn't a lot of people don't even remember he was a coach.
Exactly,
right.
Like because it was 2009 or whatever the hell.
I'll never forget this when the Warriors hired Mark Jackson. Van Gundy's name came up, and
Jeff Van Gundy.
Gundy.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Frank Isola, and Frank's like, "Yeah, he's not coming back to coach." And I'm like, "How do you know?" He goes, because I'm tight with Jeff, and his daughter's a junior in high school, and he's not doing anything for a couple more years. And I was like, well, why don't you write that? He goes, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Wow. So I was like, well, but you're pretty sure? He's like, yeah. And I could see Isola and Jeff Van Gundy being tight.
Yeah.
And no, he hasn't coached since.
Yeah, you think the age thing had it? I hadn't thought of that till Dibs said it, because Jalen Rose ain't that old. I mean, he ain't 21, but you think the 8? Now
he was making too much money.
Okay.
Yeah, that was probably a different one. But I think you look at even Steve Young. It's like Steve Young's a great name, Hall of Famer, whatever, but you think at 28, 28-year-olds were born the last time Steve Young was an MVP.
Man. I guess that's it.
I mean,
wow.
Like Steve, you got to think of it almost in terms of you got to put yourself in that, like when you were 55 or 28, like who was. I'm messing up the way I'm saying it, but it's like somebody that was relevant, 28 years ago when you were 28, if that makes sense. So when I was 28, all right, 2009. So it's like who was doing big things in 2009?
Right.
25 years from now, like nobody's going to remember that.
And also, I think that when you look at like where we are in 2023 in terms of sports entertainment. It's about the content more than it is about the person. And that's where Pat McAfee maybe cuts through the noise, man. Because younger people know him from the podcast space. And so now he's somebody you might follow on the other side. Susie Colbert, professional, veteran. But if you're 28 or 30.
NFL matchup. Yeah.
Any of that, you don't know. Like if you're tuning in to watch ESPN or any of these outlets, you want the content more than you want the personality.
I'll tell you what. Okay.
Well, no, there's one other thing, and this is just a personal side, and everybody's got their own situations, but I don't know. There may be others that were let go, but as far as if you're getting rid of big money personalities that either coach in the NBA or were players in the NBA, it's like, you know what? If you got to cut, I'll just say I'd rather see guys that can handle it or women that can handle it. Like Susie Colbert can handle getting cut. She's been a legend for 30 years. Like, she's made millions. Yeah. So, she can handle it in her 50s getting cut. Jalen Rose has made
they're gonna be fine.
$200 million in his life. He can handle getting cut. More than maybe somebody making 150 grand that's a beat writer or something.
I'll just tell you this, Dibs, and you kind of hit me in the cardiac muscle, man. I made it a point to watch SportsCenter. Rich Eisen was a part of my life.
Right.
Dan Patrick.
Yeah.
All those guys.
Keith Olbermann.
Berman. No, I mean, it was like Cheers, the episode of Cheers. I would watch it more than once, you know, because of the personality. And now you're just basically, like my kids don't, oh my God, this is torture. What are we watching? SportsCenter. And it's not because, and I love Everett and the guys that do it now, but it's not the same.
Well, that's the point. Everett and the guys who do it now. We don't even really know who the guys are who do it now. The one show that I will, if it's going to be on and I'm available to watch it, it's Scott Van Pelt.
Oh,
the way he does it with Stanford Steve.
And he survived.
Bad beats. Yeah. It's because he does it differently. And he's on at midnight in the East. He's on 9 out here. But in terms of like highlights, if you want to find out what happened in sports, you're not going to wait until the 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock SportsCenter to see what, Olbermann and Dan Patrick are going to say, or Craig Kilborn or whatever. So that whole modality, it's over. So they have to find new ways of doing it. And ESPN showed you by the fact that they canceled their radio morning show. Mike and Mike was a fixture for 20 years or more in this country in terms of radio. And they said basically, nah, we don't even need to have that anymore.
So that was a signal, an early one.
It's all a signal. I mean, sports more and more is on your phone and local. Like what we do is, luckily, I don't think it goes away as fast as the national, because if you're out here in the Bay Area and you have a radio, you want to hear what local people have to say.
Right. Okay.
And to that point on the highlights, I mean, MLB puts out a tweet every single night with every home run hit that day in a 2-minute clip. They do it every day.
Yeah.
So you can, every team has a clip of a guy that just went deep in their feed. Like you can just scroll and you can see a lot of what's going on in a given night.
Any big plans for our nation's birthday?
Well,
Dibs,
for me, working on Monday, which
Soldier.
Well, Soldier, and kind of hilarious because the boss, and I told you this before, he gave me 6 or 7 opportunities to get out of it, but I told him the whole time, I'm not leaving town. Boss, I'll work. It's not a holiday. I'll work, thinking that one of you two or one of the morning roasters, or I figured that I would not be the only one, the lone soldier. But I think
that happened to Steiny last year one day.
With Willard.
I think you were the. Oh, okay.
Me and Willard.
That's what it was. He put you together because you were the only two. That's right. That's right.
It's a bit of an upset because it's so unlike me, because I'm the one who created the idea of the stretch 4. And this is a classic stretch 4 opportunity, but I'm very lucky and I'm happy that I'm going to be working because we're going to be joined by Joey Chestnut on Monday, American hero. And if you want to talk about the greatest athletes of all time in America, get your LeBron and your Jordan out of here. Barry Bonds, go away. Tom Brady, take a playoff. It's Joey Chestnut.
Do you age in that sport, you think?
Yeah, yes. I heard an interview with him. I dead serious.
Well,
like he's
I will ask him that very question on Monday.
All right, gotcha.
On, does he want to keep eating into his 50s? And I also am going to ask him, what is it like the next day or the next 2 days after the fact?
I mean, I got to think it doesn't help you as you get older.
No chance. I think it's harder to recuperate.
Though? How much is it? Not all in his pockets.
Well, no, I just mean damage.
What's he winning?
I mean,
exactly. Yeah.
Well, he gets
not healthy.
Like, what's the lifespan of a competitive eater? Even if you're not.
Like, when do you slow down?
Great question, and I will ask him that, certainly. I think he gets $10,000 if he wins the mustard yellow belt, but I believe he makes about $250 to $300 large on appearances other eating. He currently holds 51 records in the International Federation of Competitive Eating, in the association. Yeah, he's got 51 records, and we'll run through some of that on Monday.
Wow, man.
Me and Alan Stiles. He doesn't know it's coming, but a lot of eating on Monday, Stiles.
Yeah.
Bring your appetite.
And Stiles is hurt?
Well,
Achilles.
Yeah.
Ruptured Achilles.
So how's he getting? Oh, he can sit down.
Yeah, I don't know if
he's got one of those little
his
sleds.
Yeah. Has he had his surgery? I don't know if he's had his surgery yet. Okay, so he had his surgery.
Has. Man. And, I mean, just real quick, thoughts and prayers go out.
Yeah, that's my guy.
No, not to Stiles.
Oh.
Stiles' wife.
Yeah.
They had a baby. So they have a baby, their first baby,
like 2 months ago.
And a month later, this guy blows out of that. So now his wife has 2 babies.
Yeah,
Totally, bro.
Yeah. Like that is one where Alan, she's got every right to be pissed at you.
For months. Because the Achilles, as we know, that baby's not
I'm
like
gonna
6 to 8
tomorrow,
weeks.
8:30 a.m. at the gym. I'm still going. Jesus. You hate it.
Wait, what?
I'm still hooping.
Oh, that's
Who
good.
would have thought the youngster would have snapped the step before the OG?
It could happen to anybody.
I texted him, had some fun with him. But I got to tell you
Warriors
something.
World Tournament.
Maybe you're not moving quickly enough to,
Oh, Jay, I am. You'll see.
And it's not an elevation sensation with the goo, I'm sure.
Oh, my God.
There might be a little more
I play above the rim. I'm not dunking. Okay, before we leave, hold on.
I need video.
He said something about I couldn't do the splits. No, I said I'm not dunking, but I'm blocking your stuff. Okay. I went over there right where you're at and did the split.
Oh, this actually happened on the air?
Steiny, just tell him what you saw.
All I heard was that
I need your partner.
All I heard is that your parts did not hit the ground.
I didn't.
You did the splits here?
He didn't do the split.
Right over there.
His body, his legs were in the shape of a Z.
What does that mean?
It means it should be an I, but it's a Z.
I kicked the leg
There is
towards
no
you.
I in
It
Z.
went to the ground and dropped it like it's hot and popped up. Your boy's doing okay, Jay. I'm just letting you know.
I'm not really coming down your road.
Yeah. I kind of am.
He looked surprised. Like he wanted to give me dap. Like you still got it.
Where you got me, Goo, was I thought you said, and I misheard you, but I thought you said you were dunking. And that's where I was like, you're dunking. You're dunking.
Maybe at the donuts.
Well, not here lately.
So I misheard that. I misheard that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
I just don't want you to
saw
come
me
in.
do the splits and
I just don't want you to come in with
today?
one of those braces.
When was this?
today I just was feeling good and went over there and let it go. Yeah.
I can actually see it.
Do we have video of this? Is it on the YouTube?
Lucas butchered it.
What happened with Luke? He went Peter Parker on us.
He's ineffectual.
He had the phone.
Oh, that's why the anti-Lucas.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
why the anti-Lucas hate was coming in.
Correct.
Because I heard that driving in. I'm like, that's my guy, Lucas. You don't get to hate on my guy, Lucas.
Had the camera, the phone right there.
He butchered.
Yep.
He butchered it.
Man, shout out Joe Shasky,
Lakers,
the butcher boy.
Lakers hopeful to re-sign Schroeder.
Oh, Dennis.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, Kyrie meeting with him. He's got a list. Miami.
Coming up in 49 minutes.
How about
free agency
you know
begins.
what Kyrie's list should be?
Yeah.
Give it to
Kyrie's list should be
went off early.
Kyrie's list should be Dallas, and that's it.
Wow.
Because
Would you agree with this? They're linking Harden and Kyrie maybe to Miami, and I say they don't have the guts to go to Miami.
I love
No,
that.
they don't. I
Either
agree with
one
that
of those
100%.
guys.
Because Miami would make them play hard and work hard.
Oh, my God.
They'd make them play.
A fight for my life.
Like
What
Miami would be. I actually would love Kyrie to go to Miami because
I
they'd
would too.
make him play.
Yeah, right.
They'd
Which
make
he
him
can
earn his
play.
money.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a freaking Bahamas vacation where
Jay,
you play every other.
He's different than
2
Harden.
times
He's
a
never
week.
let his body get out of shape. I'm talking about Kyrie.
I don't know about
it's the
that.
other stuff.
I don't know
Boston
about
was
that.
a blemish. He'll never a stain.
My
You
issue,
downplaying anti-Semitism? Remember?
No,
Posted that movie?
That's what. Yeah.
Are you
Kyrie's
really
a problem.
You're going to walk this off with your headphones off? You're going to drop an anti-Semitism on your way
no,
out
I'm
the
just
door?
gonna- We're about to hit the spot.
Kyrie's got a bunch
Shit.
of. Kyrie's not. I don't think he's a great teammate. I don't think he works hard. I don't think he loves the game.
And as I've always said about
I
Kyrie,
think he's a
Goo,
divisive figure.
we've had this conversation a lot. I think everything Kyrie's done has been to create reasons for him to not play.
Wow.
From the video to the vaccine to everything is let's find a reason why I can get a little PTO or in some cases non-paid time off. He's cool with that too. He just doesn't want to play.
And I did forget that.
He wants to get paid.
On Kyrie, but
Kyrie, let's be honest. Kyrie's looking for who's going to max me.
Yeah, no doubt.
And then let me play 45
and there may not
games.
be a market for him.
And show up in the playoffs and then get hurt probably because I'm not in shape. But and then be not the reason why it didn't work out. Right? Not my fault. And then get out of here with Kyrie. He's a loser. He's a loser. He stopped caring about basketball the moment after he hit that shot at Oracle in 2016. He stopped caring.
That's a hot take.
Guru's favorite
That ain't
player.
a hot take. That's the truth.
Yeah.